Hello, this is Topic Thunder. I'm Kai, the awkward host. This is Aaron Blanchard. He does things in his life. What a shocker! Wow. Hello, Aaron.
Ooh, yeah, a couple of things. Hello, mate. All right, how's it going?
Not too bad. I'm breathing. I think I finally cracked it so that this episode will be split screen for the first time in Topic Thunder history. So you, my friend, are officially part of history. So I think this is episode 6, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I will find out when I come to make the thumbnail for it. So, yes, Aaron is a man of many talents. He has done many things in his life. He has owned a pub. He has wrestled matches. He has managed matches for wrestlers who wrestle in the matches. That is how managers in wrestling go. He has also he's cooked. He's been a cooker. He does the cooking. What do you enjoy to cook, Mr. Aaron Blanchard, sir? So awkward. I'm such an awkward host.
I've been a chef for about 23 years. It's been kind of my main trade, the catering industry, for like 23 years now. I took a little period off that and got myself a normal 9-to-5 job when I was a weekend warrior. But yeah, but I still made money on the side with a bit of chefing and stuff. So it's always been food. I grew up on a dairy farm, so it's literally been food my whole life. So yeah, it's like the whole family work in the food industry, so it's kind of was always meant to be, really. And I love food. Food's great. It's brilliant. It's literally been my bread and butter for years. So yeah, it's great. There's nothing, man. Food is life, right? Food is life. So you wouldn't put shit fuel in your car. So eat good food too. Enjoy it. That's what it's for. Food is life. So that's why I'm.
Well, that's fair enough. What's your favorite thing to cook and eat? If they're the same thing, what is it? And if they're not the same thing, why?
I like cooking quite high standard food. There's nothing better than a really good piece of meat, or I quite like cooking some traditional pasta dishes. I like Mexican food. I love Mexican food. I love cooking Mexican food. And I quite like Korean food as well, which is a weird one, because Korean food's crazy, but it's real good. They don't have much wheat in their diet. They don't have much dairy in their diet. So it's quite a healthy option. So Korean food's really cool. But when I like to eat, I like eating shit food as well, though. I like a piece of pizza. I'm not gonna lie. I like a good burger. When you're gonna have rubbish food, have the rubbish list. So it's worth it,
I mean, that's one way to go about it. When you're gonna cook good food, cook good food. But when you're gonna eat shit, you might as well eat the best of the shit. So
yeah, of course. I'm not a massive fan of like the chained like pizza places or anything. If you want shit as food, you gotta get like proper, just a place that just does like pizza kebabs, one of them like pizza holes. They normally do the best pizza anyway, so just go with it. So I don't like the prices of the chain stuff. It's quite pricey for it. So, but no, food's brilliant, isn't it? It's just been like, it's my only thing I've ever been really, really stupidly good at and like passionate about. I could talk for literally hours about food, and it drives people insane. Like going shopping for me is like really exciting, food shopping, and I could do it for hours, which annoys people I'm with. To the fact where they won't shop with me anymore. It's just become a problem. It's become a problem because people don't understand how simple good food can be. So, I'm trying to educate now. It's part of my job to educate. Yeah.
Well, you're trying to educate, so educate me, right? So let's just say, let's set you a challenge. right? Based on the
Right.
prices of everything you've seen in shops over the past, like, let's call it 5 years or whatever, I set myself a budget now in uni of,
Yeah.
I don't know, £120 on food a month.
Okay.
£120 per month. I want to eat as healthy as I can for as cheap as I can, and I want to be able to cook it to the highest standard that I can. What will I be eating for that month?
It's a bit cliche being pasta. Pasta's cheap, pasta's big, fills you. Not too much though. You don't want to just live on pasta because it's complex carb in it. So, but yeah, pasta's good. Rice, of course. There's quite a few things. There's like cheaper cuts of meat that people don't buy a lot of. Like you know what I mean. So like get down to the butchers. Don't worry about supermarkets so much. Get down to the butchers. An actual butcher. You can get better. You can get bigger, better quality products from a butcher than you can a supermarket. Supermarkets got this weird thing with beef where they think it should be red when it shouldn't. Eggs, protein fills you. Eggs are good. I got this amazing recipe actually for a carbonara dish.
Oh,
It's amazing, seriously. And I worked on it for about 10 years or so to get it really right. And it's about 90p a portion. And it's only seven ingredients, and it's killer. I could put it in any restaurant, no shit, not blow my own horn, put it in any restaurant and I could make a killing on it. It's ridiculously good, and you wouldn't believe how simple it is. It takes about 10 minutes. Well, it takes as long as it takes to boil pasta for you to make it, so it's incredible. I will share you that recipe.
Yes, please do, because I'm going to need as many recipes for uni as I possibly can, because your boy needs to eat food.
Boy needs to eat. Yeah, I'll sort that out, buddy. I'm actually writing a cookbook. I've spoken to you about it before. I'm actually writing a cookbook. Where I work at the moment, I feed people, and I only have a very small budget of about £2 a day, £2 per person per meal, including pudding. And I try and keep it as restaurant standard food for £2 a head. And I'm actually writing a book for the recipes that I use at the moment. It's been difficult because I have to take it from like feeding 30 to 40 people to feeding like 4 people. So that bit of the work has been hard, taking my big amount of recipe, my big amount of food to smaller portion. But it's going well. I think I'm about 10 recipes in. I think it's going to be about 20 recipes. It's not going to be a huge book. But yeah, it's interesting. I've never written a book before.
Well, I mean, I don't know a lot of people that have written a book, and anyone that has written a book has never written a cookbook. So I wouldn't know where to start. I genuinely wouldn't know where to start. I can cook like 3 things.
What are they?
Potato and leek soup. Yeah.
Classic. Yeah.
Mexican meatballs. Very, innit?
Classic meatballs, yeah.
Very spicy, very spicy. And then I made something else that I can't remember. It was a curry. No, it wasn't. What was it? It was for school. I made it because I took hospitality and catering for GCSE, and they said, right, you need to make I think it was 3. Yeah, it was. It was a 3-course meal, and I can only remember 2 of them, so it might have only been 2.
But no, curry's good. Curry's good and cheap.
So curry's 2. I can cook 2 things. And actually, I made a butternut squash curry, which
very good.
It's so nice, but it's so weird to say. Oh yeah, it's a butternut squash curry. People look at you as if you just like slaughtered a village child. Like what?
It's a squat-nut bush curry. Yeah. So most of 80% of India don't eat meat. So butternut squash curry is legit traditional food from there, I suppose. So
it's just
vegetable curry is good.
Yeah, I like cooking. It's just I suck. So that's.
What about like beans on toast? You can do beans on toast.
Oh, I can do that. Yeah, but that's beans on toast. Anyone can do that.
Chef emotions. You could omelette.
Anyone can do these though. That's just the basic shit. I want to be able to I want to be right in the kitchen at uni, just like whopping out 5-course meals. You know what I mean? Like, yes,
Oh,
here is your soup starter. Here is your beef masala. Here is your chicken and chips. Here is your burger and chips. Here is your dessert. Angel Delight. Angel Delight. It's a very easy thing.
Oh, mate, Angel Delight's wicked.
It's literally just sugar. That is all.
Yeah.
It's just sugar.
That's all you need. That's all you need. No, I think I can help you with the cooking, mate. I think I can send you some stuff that I've got. That'd be great. We'll do a little cook-along video one day.
Yeah. I'll just be there like, Aaron, I gotta go. I gotta lecture. No. You've got to cook this first. I want to see your reaction when you cook this. So.
I'll come to uni for the weekend with you. I'll batch cook you loads of stuff and just put it in the freezer and just leave.
That'll do me. What I'm gonna do now, right, is I'm gonna clip that little bit of Topic Thunder. I'm gonna put it into my uni group chat and be like, I've got a chef coming up to help me not die.
I was properly trained as well. It's not just like saying I properly went to catering school. I was classically French chair trained, and I worked in some amazing a la carte restaurants and stuff all over the UK. But yeah, I can help, mate. I can help.
So it was genuinely always something you wanted to do then, was be a chef?
Yeah, literally. I kind of left school early because of it. I was lucky enough to be put on a project called Project 19. So I'm from Worcester, and my school there was asked to choose 2 pupils from the school at the age of 14. So year 9, I want to say 10.
14.
9
I think that's
10.
Between, yeah, so it's
year
9 and 10.
3 or 4. Yeah, year 3 or 4 I would call it. And it was called Project 19. It was the government trial, and it was the first launch in the UK. And they took out certain kids that wanted to do trade, and they were trying the project. So there was 2 from my school that wanted to be chefs, and all the other schools from the area put a couple in. There was a building one and a plastering one and some plumbing one, but I was in the chef one. And we went straight into college at 14, and US cards and everything. It was wicked because you can get beer and whatever with them when I was a kid. Straight to college at 14 for 1 day a week. And then it became, after so many weeks, it became 2 days a week. And then after 6 months in the college, full on the same stuff that 16-year-olds are doing, they put us in placements in hotels, and we got to pick which hotel it was. And I picked the biggest one in Worcester. And I got sent there, and they gave me a work experience, but that turned into, after 2 days work experience, it turned into a job. They offered me a job. The chef was amazing.
How old were you?
There. I was 14.
Jesus.
Yeah, just turned 14. So I got offered a job. So I was working like evening shifts. So I'd do school and then go and work in the hotel. And then I had a pay slip. One day. Yeah, it was crazy. I had a pay slip one day, and I was like, wow, I've earned this much money. What happens if I work full time? How much money would I earn then? And we needed money when I was a kid. I needed it. So I was like, I don't need school now. So I kind of like started going to work more. Then school got real mad about it, as they do. And I actually got a letter saying, don't bother coming back. Which was fine, because I was earning money and paying the bills.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you.
I had a letter then back saying you can come and do some GCSEs, which didn't really bother. So I actually went back to college at 19 to do my GCSEs. So I worked from 14 through to 19 fully as a chef. Learned my trade completely. I took a year out to go back to college, get some GCSEs. Did another couple of years chefing, and then I decided I wanted to do wrestling. So yeah, so it was what it was. But because I was so young, doing this, everyone thought I was older. So I was living an adult life as a 14, 15-year-old,
wow.
Partying and working. No, plus I was under 16, so I wasn't getting taxed because you didn't. So I was earning more than the other guys that were working with me who were adults. So yeah, it was weird. I literally I would stay in the hotel sometimes up to like 3 or 4 days and just sleep in one of the spare rooms. Yeah, I just worked. I worked 70 hours a week, 7 days a week.
So you just took a gamble on yourself, really, and you
Yeah,
said, you know what,
pretty
this is what I want to do, and you did it for 5 years non-stop.
Yeah, I worked really hard during the winter months. They were quite good because of my age and stuff. They let me go away and do like other things, like and take big sabbaticals off. So if I wanted to take the summer off because I was meant to be at school, I'd take 6 weeks summer off, and they'd let me keep my job there. So they were pretty cool. The chef there was amazing. He looked after me, taught me loads.
Wow.
And yeah, so I was able to do my other stuff that I did before as a youth that you should be doing. Like I was a sea cadet and stuff like that, so I travel around a lot doing other stuff like that, and just be a kid as well. So I was able to do a bit of everything quite young, quite early on in life, and I grew up quite quickly. Yeah, it was exciting. It was fun. It was crazy, and I'm kind of glad I rolled into wrestling because I was really tired. Because working that kind of lifestyle for like 5 or 6 years, by the age of 19, I was like done. I was worn out.
Well,
so it was good to fall into wrestling. And
well, you've told me the story.
Yeah, it was. It was just, I don't know, I was kind of lucky and unfortunate in a way as well. Like, I kind of missed some of the stuff, like the education the first time round and stuff. But no, I had a ball. So I had a ball, you know, but bad habits come with that. And, you know, so the chefing life is literally what they show you on television now. It's not glamorous at all. It could be, but it's a rough upbringing. Quite vicious back then. There was no such things as like health and safety in the 90s as well. And
right.
Then Jamie Oliver came out and told everybody all the chef secrets and just destroyed the business. And so it was a different world. It's hard, especially being a 14-year-old kid as well.
Yeah. So Jamie Oliver was to cooking then what what's his name? That journalist was to pro wrestling. The one that David Schultz slapped. He broke the kayfabe around cooking.
Yeah. Do you know what? I haven't got a problem with him. I think some of his stuff's good, and the stuff he does is great because he wants Britain to be healthier. However, you can't say that when he's packing it on a little bit. You know what I mean? Love you, Jamie. But the chefs that I was working with, the really old school chefs. Now, the one chef that I trained with, I don't think he's around anymore because he was old then. He was in his 70s when I met him, and he was like my first head chef. He was amazing. He hated him because he was telling the world the stuff that taught him years. He had to go to France and learn. He worked in the Savoy and all these posh hotels in London, right. And that's where he learned his trade. He learned his trade in like the 50s. Jeez. You know, this is like, like kayfabe in cooking, right?
Yeah.
So, and then Jamie Oliver just starts telling everyone all the easy things. I don't know. To be fair, it modernised the industry. I mean, there's a million people, there's hundreds of TV chefs now making a very good living. Just not me. Just not me.
Well, no. So we'll go back to wrestling in a minute because you've told me a lot of the stories. So I want to explore a few of them. But from working from 14 to 19 as a chef in a hotel to your job now, what was the trajectory there? What exactly happened in between those two very similar but very different occupations?
Yeah, of course. So I actually became quite poorly. I moved to Wales, and within a week of moving to Wales, I was really ill. I couldn't walk. I was completely unable to move. I literally couldn't walk. The doctor came, I had loads of tests done. So 3 years of this, of me not being well at all. And then one day I had what we thought was a heart attack. So bearing in mind, I'm like 28 at this point. So I had we thought it was a heart attack. Ambulance came, all that jobby. I wasn't having a heart attack. I had some tests done, and it turned out that my thyroid was completely buggered. So the little thyroid in your neck controls everything, controls your organs and stuff, was super active, and I had something called Graves' disease, and I got diagnosed with Graves' disease. So during this time, me being off and trying to work out my condition and stuff, I got better enough, and I wanted to go back to work because I hadn't worked. I'd taken 3 years poorly, and I hated every second of it because I've always worked, you know. And I can't remember how it happened, but I think it was my partner, that was it. She had been given a number of a project called the Coastal Project. That was a local authority project, and they were helping adults with learning difficulties, mental health issues, any other ailments that weren't able to work, and was helping them find work and transition back into a normal life kind of thing. I give them a ring, a bloke come out to see me, changed my life instantly that day. So I did all the CV things. He helped me get jobs, go on training, get back into being a bit more normal and stuff, but at my own pace, which was great. Some days I'd be ill still, and some days. I worked in a load of local places around here that I'm not going to name because some of them I will get done. And then they said, "There's this job in house. We're opening a cafe in Swansea on Fabian Way, and we want a chef. We want a chef that's going to be able to teach other adults with learning difficulties and disabilities and any other ailments. You're perfect for the job." So I was like, great, it's great. So I had the interview, blah, blah, blah. I got the job, and it just snowballed from there. So I went from being somebody that was on this project to being a member of staff helping on the project. And then when that all changed on the project after the funding finished, I went and worked I opened a coffee shop in the local town.
We'll get to that.
I met some great people at. And then when that project finished, I literally got absorbed into social services because that's who we kind of work for and with. And given this position I have now, where I teach adults with learning difficulties how to cook. Anyone with any kind of disability, really, there's loads. It's pan disability. So I've got this amazing job where I get to teach what I love every day until Corona.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I said, it's a very rewarding job, and it's not actually about the food. It's about the journey that people have with us at daily.
Right. Yeah.
Just being there, so that's why we work on a small budget, but I can make a decent profit. But it's not about the profit. So yeah, it's amazing. I work with some amazing people. I mean, some of them I'm proud enough to say that if the jobs were available, they could go and work in a cafe now, and they've never worked in their whole life, but they could go and work in a cafe now. They could run a kitchen, you know. So it's quite rewarding. They're all my chefs, you know. We call each other chef. It's run as a professional kitchen. It's amazing.
Wow, well, that's actually a really cool job. So it's like, would you ever consider moving on from that and teaching people without any disabilities and go on to be an actual teacher then? And well, you are an actual teacher now, that's all I'm saying, but you know what I mean, move on.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. I've been on I did teach a training course, we went through all that and stuff. Yeah, I would. I think food is so easy to access now at a click of a button. I think we forget how simple and amazing real food can be, and cheap if you know what you're looking for. But I think it's kind of lost with all Tesco's, Morrison's, other supermarkets are available. Kind of buy one get one free thing, you know, mass buying. All the you can buy so much rubbish. And people don't know what's in the food, but there's easier ways of making. Like I proudly can say I've never bought a jar of like Domio. Never bought a jar of sauce. Never in my whole life. And I don't think I ever could turn myself to do it. I buy the stuff and make it properly from fresh. It doesn't take that long. I know that's easy.
Yeah.
But for 10 more minutes, I can make a proper wholesome meal that's going to be so much better for me and taste better. It's not full of sugar because I know how much has gone in there.
Yeah, I see what you mean about that. Because you control
Yeah.
everything with that then. You are in full control of everything that's going into your system when you cook it from scratch.
Yeah, my kitchen at work, it's a completely scratch kitchen. Everything is made from scratch. There's not one convenience kind of item there. It's a lot cheaper doing it that way as well. So I make everything, all the curries are made from scratch. There's no paste or sauce or anything. There's automatic. Everything I do is from scratch. All the baking we do is scratch. I've got an amazing chef, assistant chef, who is autistic, but his technical ability is incredible. So because he's so technically good, he's very by the book. It's just my Gordon Ramsay hands now, see them? So he's very by the book. So he's an amazing baker, whereas, to be honest, I hate baking. Pretty shit at it, and it's quite well known that I'm pretty shit at it. So yeah, it's convenience food. It's kind of, I don't know. Is it making us worse? You know, is it making us? I know it's quick, but cooking's quite therapeutic. Why don't we do it more?
Are you one of the culinary artists then? When you've finished, when you've cooked everything, you're plating it up, do you try and make it look as beautiful and as pretty as you can? Not even when you're working. Do you try and make it look good for yourself, just so you have that?
Yeah, always. I think it's the first thing you see is the food on your plate. My kid gives me stick because I do it. You know, when I make a salad at home, I always make it as pretty, look as good as possible. I've always done it. It's just I learned to cook in an industrial way. I learned how to cook for 400 people before 4. So it's always been about what the food looks like, then it's the taste. You know, it's always been about that first expectation of the plate coming to you. So yeah, I don't know. Cooking's incredible, but I don't think enough people do it or want to do it.
Yeah. So for you, presentation it's half of the battle then.
It's a big part. It's a big part. I teach my guys as well. So when they do get a chance to cook with me, we're cooking certain things. Some of them are so good. Teach them to taste. It's very important. The palate's your most important tool as a chef.
Yeah.
Taste is the most important thing. It can take you years to get seasoning, to learn how to season and stuff. So your palate's the most important tool. So you've got to taste everything. Mate, I just eat all day.
I mean,
I just eat all day.
It's the best way to be, I suppose. It is the best way to be. So you said as a chef, presentation is everything. So let's move on to something that is all about presentation. Let's move on to wrestling. Yay, okay. Wrestling!
Wrestling!
The presentation sport. So you've given me a rough outline of how you got into it, who got you into it, who got you in further into it, who got you booked, and who got you on the road. And
yeah,
I've heard so many stories, and I don't even think I've heard 1% of the stories you have. So let's run through.
Mate, I think I've forgotten.
Let's run through your start in wrestling.
Forgotten. So during my mad life, I always kept in shape till I got poorly. So I've always kept in shape. So I was going training, and I trained with a friend. We used to go to this crazy, proper, scary bodybuilder gym. You know, I'm only 5'8". I've always been just a short bloke, but I was quite a big dude back then on the train. I was quite strong for a little guy. So I went to this bodybuilder gym with my friend. And he was a wrestling fan, and that was kind of the thing that brought us together, really. We both worked together, and we both came to talk about wrestling one day. And he said, I went to this show recently. We're training one day, so I went to a show, and I met this wrestler. So he said, do you want to come to a show they've got in the local leisure centre, next week? And I wanted to come and meet him. So yeah, no worries, So I went to the show, watched it, and it was a show run by a company back then called ESEW. Worcester-based promotion. They later went on to become PCW. They were promoted by Rich Price, who used to wrestle as Nick Knight.
Okay.
Yeah, and there was people like Mad Dog was on the card, and Johnny the Body was the guy that I was asked to meet. There was quite a few Sal Americano was on the card. These are old names. Sal Americano, Sam Daniels was on the card main event in. There was some real good stuff on there, right? My mate, the Bull. So we met John after, and John was like, yeah, I used to look a lot better than this, believe it or not. He said, dude, you got a good look, you got a good size. I'm running a show in the local area next week. Why don't you come on down before the show? Come on down. We'll get you in the ring and have a go bumping and stuff. So I was like, yeah, okay, no worries. So till the week after, before the show, a couple of hours before the show, got in the ring. I ran the ropes for about half an hour. And when I was a younger kid, about 10, I did judo. All kids do a little bit of weird martial art. So I could bump already. I automatically could bump. So he was like, wow, this is ace. These guys can bump. He's got good luck. He can run the ropes. So I was then within half an hour running the ropes. I was hip tossing, taking clotheslines, and yeah, he put one on me a little bit on purpose, see if I was tough enough. But I got up, shook his hand, said, thanks very much. Can we do this again? He said, yeah, no worries, right. So like 3 days later, I think it was, I had a phone call from him saying, I got you booked on a show on Friday. This is Saturday, I trained. On the next Friday, I had a phone call saying, I got a show for that Friday. It's at K-Star Wrestling in Birmingham in Solihull, I think it was, or somewhere, Canton, somewhere maybe. Also, if you've got 50 quid, I've got these wrestling boots I've just bought off of mate. Do you want to buy them? So I was like, yeah, okay. So literally within a week, I bought wrestling boots. Christ. And I had a red mask. I think you've seen me with the red mask on. And I had gear. I had like these trousers I trained in. They looked like martial art trousers. They were black shiny with red trim and the thing. And he said, dude, you look like Kato from the Orient Express from WWE, right? You look like the guy in the red mask. Chinese eyes and all. He said, put that on, got a gimmick. I got you a spot in the Rumble. Right. So this is the 6 days after my first getting in the ring. I do a show as Kato, and I was even the guy announcing me as I ran into Rumble announced me as Kato from the WWE. I've got it on tape somewhere. Seriously,
that's class. That's awesome.
And I didn't know he was going to say that. But when we travelled to the show, I know the guy, the Bull, was in the car with us, and we got talking. And I actually went to school with him, but didn't know him at school because he was a few years older. We became real good friends. So I did that with John. He started HCW at that time, and I was kind of involved in that a little bit at the beginning of it, putting in and stuff. Did some local shows in my local area and stuff, and then I kind of stopped for a little bit. Stopped for a little bit, and I'm not sure why. I think it's because I got a concussion outside of wrestling. I got a concussion messing around on the beach one day and got a concussion, right? Different story for another day. So I took some time off, and I didn't really hear from anyone. And then I bumped into the Bull, Nick, and Rich Price, and bumped into him. He said, look, we've got this training school now at your old school, the school we all went to. Okay? So we went to school together, we just didn't know each other. Come down, it's a Thursday night, come down, come on back, we've got a spot for you. I was like, okay. So I went to training, the next Thursday, I went to training, and he said, look, we want you to manage Sam Daniels. And Sam was their champion at the time. He said, we want you to manage Sam Daniels. Because we'd spoken loads when we'd travelled, they all knew I was a Heenan Mark. And I am happily to say Bobby Heenan is still the most favourite wrestler and performer of all time, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
It's my favourite. And he said, look, come and manage. We know you can do it. Come and manage. So I think within a month of that, I was managing their champion, main eventing. And I kind of never looked back, to be honest. And during that, the whole stint at that school, this shaved-headed, quiet, tattooed dude turned up and turned into Tyson T-Bone, and the rest is history, really.
Nice. I love how that just turned around. So, you were around before Tyson T-Bone.
Yeah. When I was I was managing before. He was one of our I think I did a show, 1 or 2 shows before him for that company as a manager, and he came in then as a bodyguard.
Okay.
You know, he had the shaved head. He had just kind of just the sleeves then, full sleeves, shaved head, some good size about him. Not as big as he is now. Man's worked so hard. Some good size about him. He looked, even though he's the nicest dude in the world, he looked like he'd rip your face off. And he was bodyguarding somebody, and I was managing somebody. And then we realised that we worked in the same building next to each other.
Yeah.
Without even knowing, one day, I was walking out to lunch, and he drove past. I said, dude, what are you doing here? He's like, working at garage, literally the building next door to my building I was working in. So then we'd have lunch together every day as well, and we spent like every other second together. Until it became what it was, and I ended up managing him. But during all this managing stuff, I had a phone call from John saying, I got a wrestler, I need a wrestler. And that kind of started again. I was quite happy just managing.
Yeah.
But the more I trained and stuff, the more I just got into it. And then I went on the road and I wrestled John like every week for like a year and a half. So yeah, I started getting bookings through that. And when John had other shows, I'd go with him, take my gear, get on shows. But then I had the more attention managing, so it was kind of, I liked the wrestling, enjoyed it. I wasn't as good as I was as a manager, so managing was always the thing I really wanted to do, and I think I had my most success as a manager and stuff, I'd say. So my bigger moments as a manager.
Yeah, the majority of the stories you told me have been as a manager.
Yeah.
Like the one that you love telling is what I think it was Aberfan, where you thought you were about to get stabbed.
Yeah, it was the Gurnos. It was the Gurnos. Yeah, so I worked for Celtic for a bit, and I managed Thomas Bassey. Everyone knows in this area knows Thomas Bassey, one of my favourite people in the world. Man, I still call him champ. He still calls me boss. He's like, oh, I love him. He brought me in after he found out I moved down to Wales, and he said, dude, come and manage me. So I ended up working for him after a bit of a break, and I came back. Come and manage me, and I managed for Celtic instead. It was a real good run. But if anyone knows Bassey and knows who he is and of a person, the Gurnos is his home, and he is like a celebrity there. And we'd done a few shows there where I was managing Bassey, because we were heel elsewhere, but in the Gurnos, Bassey's without a doubt a face. So we'd do some shows and they're managing, and it was real good. It was electric, real good. Ascal's like electric place to go. So if you've never wrestled there, it's an amazing place. The kids are vicious. They're brutal, like 9-year-olds that are brutal. So they thought it would be funny, not funny, but they thought they wanted the idea of me turning on Bassey and starting a faction with the guy that I cheated Bassey over with, Chris Recall, so he was going to win the title. I was going to screw Bassey over, as well as Bassey's own brother, Sugar Bassey, and Titan was in the group. So it was Chris Recall, Titan, Sugar Bassey, and me. Okay, I think I can't remember the name of it, but we were like the Power, how was it? Brains, Champ, the Power, and the Pimp. I think that's where that little monocle thing, because Sugar Bassey was a pimp. So we turned on Bassey,
because why wouldn't he?
We turned on Bassey in the Gurnos, and fucking place went off. So wow. I had to be we tried to get out the place as quick as we could after. It was mental, trying to get through a bathroom window or whatever. The place was mental. There was kayfabe lived, okay, in Gurnos. Kayfabe lived, okay. I mean, you get thrown, hit with cans, but they'd be unopened.
Yeah.
Ashtrays. There was
Dan's told me about
ashtrays. This. Yeah, there was a smoking ban on, but they still managed to get an ashtray from somewhere. Yeah, mate, it was one of the most entertaining and scariest times ever. Is turning on Bassey in the Gurnos. The place went off. It was. WCW when Hogan and they all bring to throw in the NWO promo, there was shit in the ring.
Wow.
It was amazing. And then I had a run with Recall then, so that was just as good too. So
do you work best as face or heel?
I'd say heel. I was that greasy, slippery, annoying Weasley manager for so long. I did some of my better work working without any characters or gimmick and just being an asshole. Like when I go work for Blondie Barrett, he changed my name every show on purpose. Just he put me down as whatever on purpose, and he just wanted me to be an asshole, which came really natural. There was not a lot. I didn't have to I preferred working at like shows that didn't know anyone there because you feel like you can let loose a bit more when you know there's people you know in the audience or whatever. Or like I literally go to the show with John or whatever, and I wouldn't know any other wrestlers there apart from Blondie, John. So like there was no expectation of me being good or bad, so I just let loose there. I think I was called Bruiser Brett Savage once.
Oh, nice.
Bruiser Brett Savage, and I always did this thing where I'd lose all the time. I'd do this thing where I'd be like, I'm not. I'd ask the referee, did I win? And I'd get the referee to tell me I was a loser, and I'd kick off saying, I'm not a loser, and that would then go off for another 5 minutes. And Blondie would always watch every match if he wasn't in the show. We watched matches, and then we do a rumble at the end always. And if you had the more heat as a heel, he'd then make you as the last heel in. So I'd end up being the last heel in and stuff. So I think heel. However, I had some good times as a face, some really good times. So
I want you to tell the mask story.
Right. Okay.
I need you to tell the mask story because I love this every time. It gets me every time.
This is my favourite memory of John as well. Wrestling. He's not, but my favourite match I've ever with John because it was just us trying to make each other laugh. So we're travelling to UCW, Gangster Promotion, and he said, "Dude, it's me and you tonight. I want to do this deal with you because I used to wrestle there as Aaron Blanchard and as the Minuteman. So I do a gimmick where I had a mask on, a boiler suit, taped up, some tattoos, taped up, and I'd wrestle like a job for a couple of minutes, if that, right? And I'd just done this work with this other gentleman I don't want to talk about. And John says, me and you tonight, but you're Minute Man, because I was working as myself against somebody else. I said, grand, but John didn't want me to do a quick job. He wanted to do normal shit, right? So he said, I got this deal, right? You got your mask. I got 2 more in my bag. Can you put them all on? So we do a deal where we lock up, headlock, pull a mask off. I was like, yeah, no worries. So I was like, it was fucking summer, right? I'm already going to be in a boiler suit, okay, with my wrestling gear underneath, because I'm going to be wrestling like 2 matches after, so my wrestling gear's underneath, right? So under my mask, I wear a cut-up pair of black tights, so you can't see my features or anything, right? Because I had a bit of stubble back then. You didn't want to see me goatee, my gimmick goatee, whatever. So I'd have these black tights on. Then I had one mask. Then I had my red one. Then I had this fucking blue one. Okay?
I love this so much.
So we got this. I'm backstage. I'm like, John, I can't fucking breathe, mate. I cannot breathe. He's like, don't worry. We'll do this gimmick at the beginning of the match. We'll do this at the beginning of the match. We'll get it done, and then we can just do our shit, right? I said, okay. I said, John, you've got to do it like within the first fucking minute. I can't breathe. I can barely see, right? You've got to do it, right? I think I've got a tape somewhere. I don't know, right? That's the thing. There was no camera phones in my day. It was all VHS and tapes. So do the entrance. By getting in the ring, I am blown up. I can't see. I could barely breathe, and I've literally walked 4 feet to get into the ring. Okay. So we lock up, we do the gimmick, bang, one mask comes off, all that normal shit. Referee, pull my hair, all that normal shit. So next bang, lock up, then next mask comes off. So I'm down to just the one mask, okay? So thank God, it's the thinnest one, right? I shit you not, right? This nearly destroyed the whole match because I couldn't fucking stop laughing, right? So John leant over the rope then, with the mask, looked straight into the person with the camcorder and went, right, we had to do this bit at the start because he couldn't breathe. We'll finish off the match now. So that was literally just there. we had to do this bit first because he couldn't breathe, so we're going to do the rest now. And that was seriously, that just looked straight in the camera and did it. I was dying. I was like, in the background going, yeah, he's right, yeah, I can't breathe. So just without talking, because you're in a match, you don't talk. I was like, do you know what I mean? So we did the match then, and I think at the end of the match, I think he even hit me with a foam hand. And I sold the F out of it, even with a foam hand, like, great colleague shop.
Nice.
He did a 619 on it. He did a 619 on me as well. Now, if we know Johnny the Body, bless Johnny Rose now, I do apologise, Johnny Rose, you know, he's a big dude. So he'd shout 619! So he'd hit the ropes, he'd run back to the one, he'd stop, he'd then step through and just kick you in the face.
Nice. Which
I did. I flipped, sold, bumped it, and it was just, yeah, I don't know, it's a proud moment. It was a funny match. Probably my funniest one. It entertained me, if not anyone else. So yeah, that's the mask story. Couldn't breathe. Even the guys at the back going, dude, I don't know how I could do it. There was like Dave was on the card, Dave Mastiff was on the card, I think Gilligan was there, guy Joe Duffy was there at the time. There's loads, but I was just wearing these masks. And then I went out after and wrestled again.
Wow. That story, every time it gets me. Every time. I must have heard it about 10 times now, and it's still funny. It's still funny. Because you can imagine it. I've only ever met Johnny once, and I can see him doing it. Like, everything you describe is like, yep, that is the most Johnny the Body sounding thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's quite a dry bloke as well. He's quite dry. And he's done quite a bit of stand-up and stuff. So he just went over and went, we had to do that bit first because he couldn't breathe. It was like that. He couldn't breathe. We had to do it. He wanted me to say we had to do it. So yeah, it is what it is.
Is there another story? Is there another story then from that run that you want to go on before we move on? Is there another story you want to talk about, or?
I don't want to talk about it. But I wrestled a shorter gentleman, shall we say?
It wasn't me.
No, all right. I wrestled a dwarf. Yeah, dwarf, midget, dwarf.
Well, there was a promotion that came over here last year called the Dwarfinators, so I think that's politically correct.
Yeah, I wrestled a shorter gentleman, midget, dwarf, I believe. He was making his comeback. And I wanted to do all the stuff that made him look amazing, but he didn't really care. He didn't give a shit. He was nice enough, and all the boys were like, are you wrestling so-and-so? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, good luck with that. And I was quite happy meet everyone as I find, and I was like, yeah, it'll be fine, I'll work with him, it's no problem, I don't mind putting him over, blah, blah, blah. No. Didn't turn out very well at all. Yeah, I don't want to go further into it.
Fair enough.
I will tell you another day, but I don't want to put it on.
All right. Well, an exclusive story that didn't go any further than the headline.
One day.
Aaron Blanchard doesn't like dwarves. That's the story. Doesn't like.
No, that's not the case. That's not the case. It's the same with anyone really in wrestling. If you are respectful to everyone that you're working with, then you should get respect back. And it's something that's very much missing sometimes, like this day and age as well. Like kayfabe, kayfabe isn't just about the secrets. Okay, it's also about respect for the business and respect for yourselves and others. And I think that's very badly missed at the moment, and it's something I want to bring back as a trainer. You know, that whole old school kayfabe thing. Yes, everyone knows how wrestling's a work, blah 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 blah, but it's still about respect and respecting the business and respecting those that have come before you. You know, you're a great worker. I've got no issues with that. You know, but you're very respectful because, all right, you're maybe a better worker than me. We don't, you know what I mean? But you still respect me because I've been in it a lot longer. You know, I've been around a bit more, and I'm able to help you. You know.
Yeah.
It's when you get the gobby young ones that think they know it all because they're Mark, you know, because they watch a lot of telly and they read all the dirt sheets and stuff. You know, information, knowing loads of information don't mean you know that thing as well. Like the Al Snow thing I sent you today, that's an amazing statement. And if anyone wants to see it, you should definitely I'll try and post that. It's an amazing statement. And yeah, he's completely right about the way that the wrestling industry has been destroyed by people who think they know what they're doing. And I'm not saying I'm a superstar. I'm not. I'm a complete unknown. But I've done quite a bit of time in it before, you know.
Yeah.
And I still love it, and I still try. I still learn every time I watch something new. Even if it's good or bad, you can learn from good, and you can learn from watching bad wrestling. You pick up, see bad habits and things, and if you can learn how to watch a match and go, "Whoa, that was a bit," you're knowing how to build a match then, and how not to do things as well as how to do things. Yeah. I think it's a real big learning curve, and me being a trained person who trains people now, I think being able to train people in wrestling, I think I can help with the way I approach and teach people anyway.
Yeah.
But no, it's the respect thing is a huge thing, and he just wasn't that nice to me. He wasn't that nice to anyone. So yeah, just be nice to people. I don't why we're all doing it for the same reason.
Exactly.
We're all doing it because we're all doing it because we love wrestling and we want to entertain people, and that's how we get to entertain people, by being wrestlers or being a referee or being a manager or being, you know, being part of some work or being an entertainer. It's all part of the same deal. We choose to throw ourselves on our faces every once in a while doing it. You know, it's the same as like if you want to go and be a juggler in a circus or something. It's the same deal. It's just that's balls.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's fair enough. Back to a little thing you said though, but I'm not a megastar. Well, that's a little thing that I think people misinterpret, and I want to just go into that for a minute because obviously I've been to seminars with people that have made it. So like Primate, Rene Dupree, you know, there've been others as well. One or two of people that are no longer mentionable, so we won't go into it. But there have been a few that I've gone to, and this is not anything of like, I'm not slagging off them because God knows I'll never slag off anyone, like, you know, that has helped me, because they have. Everyone that have ever taught me anything has helped me. But I would much rather sit down for 10, 20 minutes and go through what I was doing right, what I was doing wrong, with someone who has worked for 20 years at lower levels and worked with everyone under the sun, than get in a ring for 10 minutes with someone who has worked everyone. And the only person that I would say has done both is Johnny Storm. Because Johnny Storm's made it, but he always kept to work in the lower promotions as well. Yeah. And like for me, Johnny Storm gets it. Like Johnny Storm is up there. That's the aim, is to be a Johnny Storm. To be recognized but not lost in the ring. You know what I mean?
Like what Doug was, like Doug Williams was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Doug is one of the best I've ever seen, and he gets it. I think I've only met him briefly. I met loads of people. I met Robbie Brooks once. What an amazing bloke. He won't remember me. I was doing the ring job. We talked a bit about football. Amazing. But I just sat and just watched him and listened to him when we were talking outside with the boys and stuff. Man, funny bloke, really nice. Shook everyone's hand, proper, respectful. I think the real way to learn now is like a lot of people go to just one school and they stay at that school, you know, and like not knocking some of the schools, some of them in this area are amazing, like Dragon Pro's ridiculously good, yeah. But I think sometimes getting out there and going to train at more different places and train under different people. I mean, I trained under like so many people. I did like, so I did a bit of training with John, and then I got taken to that school and I trained with the guy called the Bull, like an unsung hero. Like the man could work, he could wrestle, he was tough. We beat the piss out of each other in matches. It was amazing. But he taught me how to work. Another guy, Sam Daniels, taught me how to work. He was the champ. I managed him, learned how to work through him. And then like going on the road and just meeting other people and just listening to them, just being around them. You should always have your ears open and always listen to how other people talk. Like, even though he was not long in the business himself, maybe about the same time as me, but Dave Mastiff, I used to love talking to Dave, always amazing to talk to. Trained with him a few times. Man, he knew his stuff. Rockstar Spud, Drake Maverick, James, a few shows with him, he was the same. Just being around them. Anton Smith, another one. Just being around these guys and just being able to travel around with them and just see them at different shows. Then Blondie Barrett, I wrestled Blondie a few times. He's an old school World of Sport guy. You know, he did the same gimmick. He does the same gimmicks now, and it works. He's been doing them for, I don't know, 552 years or something, but it's still working, and it's still. I love Bob. Bob, I love you. It's still working, and it's something that's, I don't know, some people got it, some people haven't. I'm not saying I've got it, but I'd like to try and help you bring that out if you can.
Yeah, I think experience is key in wrestling, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 4 years in. Like, I'm not a veteran in any standard at all. I'm still a baby wrestler. But there are people coming in that will look to me. There are people that have been training for 3.5 years that will come to me and ask me for stuff. Even if they, like, God, there are some people that come to me, like James Ellis. He comes to me for advice and stuff. And I'm like, you're a better worker than I'll ever be. You should piss off. You don't need my help. But it's the respect thing. Like, I'm only 4 years in, and there are still people that are a year in that come to me out of respect. And there are people that come to me and ask me, I know you use this move, but can I use this? Like, is this okay? And I'm like, I'm not going to stop people from using moves unless it's my finish. If you see me hit a core breaker and you want to hit a core breaker, go for it. Just make sure none of the veterans are using it. You know what I mean? But,
I mean, yeah, I've noticed a lot of things are different to when we did it. Like, everybody kind of talked anyway before what everyone was doing, and the booker would tell you, I want this finish, I want that finish, I want it clean, I want it dirty. You know, I don't know, I think some bookers don't do that anymore. They let the guys just decide what they want to do, and I think it's needed that because then, without knowing, you could have 4 matches that are all the same. They're all starting with chain. They've all got an international in them. You know, everyone's working a leg or everyone's working an arm, and it's all the same. And then you've got fans that are sitting and watching 4 matches, which are the same. Yeah. You know, let's get the bookers go, right, I want this for this finish. Can you go this direction? I want that for this one. You know, let's do some. Can you put a bit of comedy in this one today? You know, just let's make it more the variety. So not everyone's starting with chain, and you know, just.
Yeah.
Let's entertain everybody.
I think that's what it is. I was lucky in that respect for the first... Hold on, because my first show was in January, and the first time I wrestled someone who wasn't my trainer was technically it was the October, but Dan is my trainer, so I'll call it November, and that was Darius. So it's, close friend of mine. So I had that almost year-long run of wrestling people that trained me so that I sort of knew what I needed to do in matches and what I needed to do to make sure I didn't repeat spots. So, like, I'd watch as many matches as I could while still going over my match. I'd be like, yeah, headlock, takedown, whatever. And I'd be like, oh, wait, 1 sec. Okay, can we scrap this spot out? And I think me and Darius did it about 3 times. We were backstage and I was watching it going, they just hit whatever it was, like crossbody, like crossbody into an arm drag or whatever. Let's do crossbody into a hip toss or crossbody into a drop kick or whatever. And just like little tweaks like that. And that's something that Dan especially always told me to do. If you see someone doing one of your moves, change your move, make it look better. Or change your move, make it look more impactful. You know what I mean? Always adapt.
You've got to do everything you can to stand out.
Yeah.
You've got to do everything you can to stand out. Now, I'd say as you, watch everything you can. But you've got to make that fans have a short attention span, you know, especially if like a lot of kids in the show, but they'll always remember one wicked thing they see. They'll always remember one wicked thing. Now, normally, because the last image is the main event, isn't it? But if you're working first or second matches and you've got a kick-ass finish off the top rope or a flip or something that can make you stand out, do it. Do it. Make yourself try and stand out.
Yeah.
Okay? Do something completely different. There's so many moves in wrestling. Yes, everyone does a slam, drop an elbow, you know, those are part of every match, and there always will be because they're basics, you know, lock up, work, they're basics. But if you've got something that's amazing, always try and finish on your best, you know. I get slated for saying what I'm saying, but that's how I feel when I'm watching something. I want to see something completely different, and if you can do something that's amazing and make you stand out, do it. Do it every time. If you've got an amazing finish off the top with 76 flips, and you're the only person that can do it, do it.
Yeah.
Do that one move to make you stand out.
I'm old school as hell, and I get annoyed now when I watch wrestling because you see the same move in every single match. At least 2 or 3, especially with like AEW and NXT. You see the same 3 moves, I'd say, every match, or you'd see 2 of them in the match. It's a Canadian Destroyer, which looks sick, but should look impactful because you're driving someone on their head and people are standing up from it. A super kick, you're kicking someone in the jaw, or a suicide dive. And I'm like, a suicide dive can't be a finish because it's to the outside, fair enough. But a super kick, a Canadian Destroyer, they are finishes. A super kick isn't like a massive flashy move, but it can come out of nowhere. And if it hits right, like Shawn Michaels, he hit some fantastic super kicks. Like the one on Shelton Benjamin. I mean, you know, that is, people still talk about that, and it's been, what, 15 years? 14, 15 years?
Yeah, gotta be, yeah.
It doesn't have to be a flip. It doesn't have to be a huge one of my favorite finishes is a curb stomp. Because it can come out of nowhere. And it's just, I feel like there are loads of people that agree with me on that, but they're young and don't want to be seen as the young old guy like I am. So it's like, nah, we'll just ignore your point until we're vets, and then we'll come back to it. And I'm like,
the other one is a DDT. So a DDT, when it first came about, Jake invented it accidentally, as we know. Dude, he killed everyone with that move. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
That was it.
No one's getting out of that.
Unless you're the Undertaker, you ain't kicking out of that one, all right? So Jake killed everyone with that, and now you see 58 different versions of it every week, and no one gets a win with it.
Yeah.
It's the same as Arn's Spinebuster. That Spinebuster, Arn still does the best Spinebuster ever, right?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
But it's in every match now. I know wrestling evolves and stuff, but I like the old. You know, I like the old stuff. I think the 80s and maybe a little bit before that was amazing because there was lots of work in.
Yeah.
I think it's sometimes missing now. Everyone's just like move. Engage your crowd. We're not WWE. You know, we're working with 60, 70 people here, whatever the numbers are. You can talk to them. You're like 3 foot away from them. Yeah. Interact with them. Talk to them. You know, entertain. Even if you entertain that one person, you know, and we're not WWE. They don't work the crowd. We know they don't work the crowd. They don't have to because their moves are what. It's the drama of it and the moves that get the reactions.
Yeah.
But like when we're working a small venue, like the venue we work in, it's very tight. It's very small. Everyone's crammed in. The place is baking. No one can see shit. Right? You can see everybody in the crowd. You can see their faces. Talk to them. If you're a heel, go out there and do something to annoy at least one of them.
Yeah.
You know?
You annoy one, you annoy them all.
Exactly. So I think it's a missing thing, and sometimes with all that mass amount of move list, we forget sometimes that they're in the building.
Yeah.
They're there to see you. They're there to be entertained by you. So do your very best to make sure everybody gets buzz from you being in that ring. Even if you're like opener's really important match. For opener, you got to warm up the crowd, man. You got to get everyone going. You know, if you've got a shit opener, it's hard work for the rest of the boys then.
Yeah.
I don't know, my views are a bit weird sometimes in wrestling. People think I'm a bit old school and a bit pig-headed, whatever. But it's just the way I see it, because I watch it as a fan still. Because we all are. Everyone says we're all fans. Yeah, we are. But then there's a way of watching it and a way of learning as well. You've got to be able to break something down, and just putting the match together right. Like a friend of mine, I think I mentioned to him, Chris Featherwick. Yeah. Featherwick was a great worker, amazing. I managed him. We actually wrestled Johnny Storm, I think, in an event somewhere once. Featherwick went to Lance School. He was trained by Jake when Jake was over here, and then he went to Lance Storm School for 3 months. Man, the dude can work. Mr. Heat, I call him, because he hates everyone, right? He just wants heat. Like, he loves it. He's obsessed by heat. But the dude can work, and he puts a match together with the seven steps to a match. He always does that. But he's working. Dude, he works.
Yeah.
It's not all about, less is more sometimes. And I've always talked, when I've talked to you about it, less is more. Don't have to do everything in one, Take your time, slow the match down. If you heal, slow the match down. Go and give the fans some abuse.
You don't have to get...
Don't have to be spot. You don't have to even do them. I got to a point where when I was wrestling, a couple of bumps a match, because it was work,
Yeah.
Gives yourself a bit of longevity as well, because I'm coming back, right? So I haven't wrestled a match for 12 years. I've managed, but I haven't wrestled a match for 12 years. I'm coming back, right? And I'm 37.
Yeah.
Okay? So my body's okay, right, apart from whatever, but I'm able to get myself in shape to be okay, but I'm not going to go out there and flip my fucking face off.
Yeah.
Because it's not needed. I'm going to go out there, I'm maybe going to grab an arm, and I'm going to piss off somebody.
That's all you need to do, I think, really.
I'm going to have a good time doing it.
Well, you said you're coming back into wrestling, so let's talk about a little story in between your last run and this run then.
Yeah.
Get us to now. This is a cool as fuck story that neither of us really realised properly until like I'd say like the beginning of lockdown. So, how long ago was it? About 6 years ago? In Coffee Bound, the coffee shop you were talking about earlier?
2013 or 2014. Was my son born at this point?
I vaguely, yes, because you said you named him.
You
said you named him Bam.
I think it's on my. Yeah, Bam was born, so I think it was 2014. So 6 years ago, yeah.
That's mad. Jesus Christ. So yeah, there's this Coffee Bound in Port Talbot town, and I walked in, and I think I must have been wearing a wrestling shirt or something. I can't remember what it was, but I must have been wearing a wrestling shirt. And Aaron came walking up to me, and this conversation just started out of nowhere about wrestling. And as it went on, you said that you had wrestled, and it sort of went from there. So what do you remember from that day that we first met all those moons ago?
You used to come in every Saturday, I think it was.
Yeah.
Every Saturday with your nan, yeah?
Yeah.
Hot chocolates all round.
You need to make me another hot chocolate, because those were, dude.
Oh, dude.
Like, they were diabetes in a cup, but, oh my God.
Yeah.
So good.
If you're going to have shit, have the best shit.
Exactly.
If you're going to have shit, have the best shit, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know whether to climb it or drink it.
Yeah, so 2014, so I'd finished up then, but I was doing the podcast with my friend Tony. I think I just about started doing the podcast, which was taking off. So,
still jealous.
You walked in, wrestling shirt. I know, fuck. Wrestling shirt, walked in. So I think it was quite quiet. So I kind of sat by here and just made conversation. We got on real well. I think you were like a dot back then, like 12. Was it 12 maybe?
I would have been about 12 maybe, around that. Yeah.
Just talking, doing my best customer service skills, talking. You had icebreaker on your shirt. It was a wrestling t-shirt. So I think we just started talking, and I told you that I'd wrestled and blah blah. And I think I maybe showed you a couple of old pictures on my phone or something.
You showed me the Eugene Stunner.
Oh, the Eugene Stunner, yeah, bless him. Amazing, what a dude. And I said, and you said you would love to do it, and I said, do it. And I pretty much said, if there's a place around here to do it, do it.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone tell you you can't do it, do it. And now look where we are.
Yeah, it's weird. It took another 2 years after that, but that conversation still sort of stuck with me. And then last year, I think it was around December, Danny said, I've got a mate that wants to come down and help out with training. His name's Aaron. And I'm like, where the fuck have I heard that name before? Aaron. Well, I know one Aaron. I know one Aaron from wrestling. And I was just racking my brain. And then I saw you in training and just completely blanked you. Didn't realize who you were. And then the week later, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I had hair then as well.
Yeah, it all just came back just randomly. It's like, oh, you're the guy. You're one of the reasons I'm here. What? And it was just like that, and bang. We sort of hit it off from there, and you just started doing 40-minute drills with me when everyone else was off outside the ring, so that I could get my orange or whatever it was in the syllabus. And you were here like, work with me and Andrew for half an hour, and then do your syllabus. Fucking gas like hell. Just going, I can't breathe, help. Dick. Just dickhead. But
it's because, right, I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass, mate, but you see something, when you see somebody's got something, now, like, yes, I'm coming back to wrestle, right? I'm not going to talk about it because it's a full secret, right? But I'm coming back because I want to help train people now. I want my thing in wrestling to be now that because I train people for a living. I think I'm a good trainer, and I love wrestling so much, and I think I know quite a bit. You know, not everything, but I enough to help somebody on the start of their journey. Okay, and I want that to be my thing now. If I do wrestling matches, and I'm going to wrestle matches, I'm doing it because I want to help people get over. I want to help the young guys get their start. You know, it's not about me; it's about the guys I'm in the ring with. That's what it should be about now. So it's giving back to something. Now, 12 years layoff is quite a lot, yes. A lot of shit has gone on in the middle, okay? I didn't think I missed wrestling. I didn't think I needed wrestling, okay? I have quite a few mental health issues because of my condition and stuff. I didn't think I needed it. Since I've now found it, and I bumped into Danny, and that's another story as well, bumped into Danny, and he dragged me kicking and screaming, right, to training that day. It's changed my life again. It's completely changed my life. Now, I'm hoping that being a trainer, I can help do that with somebody else. You know, it's not about me, okay? Bouts, whatever. People get a big hang up about bouts, just a prop, right? It's about getting that person over, and it's about me helping somebody on their journey. If I can teach one person something every time I'm with them, just one small thing, then that would help them on their way to becoming a wrestler, okay? You know, if I can do that, then that's what I'm about now. I'm going to have fun, and I can't wait to get back and dick around and be a performer again. For a little bit, I can't do it forever. I am getting on, right? But it's that the buzz for me is to train and help people now on their start of their shit, you know, start of their journey, start of people that can love wrestling like I love wrestling, you know. And you've got to really love it to be wanting to be around it. It's not like a hobby or, you know, I've read shit on the internet, you know, I know this, right, fuck off. Right?
Someone walks in and is like, oh yeah, I hear this would be easy. I'm like, right, dickhead, let's get you a chop.
Yeah. You know, like the first day and someone comes in, I want to do a fucking tornado fucking whatever.
I hate
power
people.
drive scrimmer fucking move.
I hate people so much.
So yeah, it's about you gotta learn, and if I can teach people the way respect that I had and I still have, and the way I think about wrestling, then great. If you don't agree with me, that's your own. It's fine. I'm not saying you have to,
Yeah.
You know, but just listen to everybody. Somebody's going to be right. You know, listen to everyone that's around you. You know, like Danny doesn't understand. I don't think he says I'm a rash, right? But he doesn't understand how much he's changed my life, because he's brought me back into something that I feel about now, and it makes me want to be a better person because I want to make other people better too.
Yeah.
And that's just how I feel. And it's just simple. I mean, I've been asked to come in and help train with referees and managers and stuff. I know I've done all that. You know, I'm more than happy to do that. But other things I see wrestling different to the next person. So I can see things differently to other people do. So I think if you nick a bit of everything, you can make yourself into a good wrestler. Just take a bit of, you know, it's like making a salad. A little bit of everything makes a good salad, doesn't it? You know, so just listen to everyone and just be respectful. And I think that's what my journey is about now.
I can't remember who said it. I think it was an indie guy. It wasn't like a WWE guy or anything. I can't remember who said it, but I saw this one quote a few months ago, and it stuck with me, and I love it. Every good professional wrestler is a collage of wrestlers that came before him. Are you there?
Yeah, it just glitched out again.
Go
for it. Go.
Every good wrestler is a collage of good. Every good professional wrestler is just a collage of the wrestlers that came before them, and that is perfect for me.
Yeah.
Because they are.
We all take stuff from previous people and stuff. You know, like a lot of guys do moves that are around today. There are so many moves that from years ago that no one does anymore. Yeah. If you want to stand out, go and do some research. Go and find it. They've got the network and all that shit now at YouTube. Find stuff that no one else does. Find a little niche, you know. Pete Dunne, good example. He started manipulating the hands and stuff that he was done years ago. Found the same style, become a megastar. You know, find what is best for you. And if you can't do something, don't do it. If you can't flip, don't flip. If you can't jump off a top rope, don't jump off a top rope. You don't have to.
I can't flip, and for a while I tried to get the blockbuster as my finisher and ended up almost breaking my neck like 3 times. So I don't do that move anymore.
You know, I've never been able to leapfrog anyone, so I don't do it.
I don't do
it either. I've never done it. Every time I did, I get smacked in the balls. You know, I'd never do it. And I got so mad when I trained that I couldn't do it. I got so mad. So my mate Ball said, if you can't do it, don't need to. You know, so I got different views, and I'm quite an old bugger, and I prefer the old wrestling. But some of the stuff is just, some of the 80s stuff is, I've watched everything, okay? But then it does get repetitive, and I think we spoke the other day, like, is it the Young Bucks? Are they called the Bucks?
Yeah, Young Bucks, Matt and Nick.
About 15 super kicks a match.
I have a love-hate relationship with the Bucks.
It's made them famous, and I'm not slagging them off or anything, but I don't want to see 15 super kicks in a match because it's a sin one. You know, it's just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. It's just my opinion. So I'm not a fan. I used to be a fan of them when they were back in the TNA or whatever. But I just don't like watching their style now. So you've got to find a style that you like watching as well. Yeah. Now I do prefer some of the older matches. I don't like some of the new matches, but then I didn't like some of the old stuff either. So you just gotta like what you like, and it's like I've said this a few times, right? Yeah. So wrestling, right? Wrestling's like chocolate. Yeah. There are fucking millions of bars of chocolate, different types of chocolate all over the world. Millions and millions of bars, right?
Yeah.
I like chocolate. I like all of them. Okay? So why do I have to pick out just one? Can I just like them all? And it's the same with wrestling. I don't have to, but you only watch WWE or you only watch... That's, as a fan, AEW is going to kill WWE. Stop it now. Right? Stop it now. Okay? We're talking about a huge public trading company, right? Stop it now. Okay? Why can't I just watch everything? I'm gonna, same chocolate. I like all chocolate. I like it all.
Yeah.
Why can't I just, I like NWA. I like some New Japan stuff. I love the old original ECW. I like it all.
I'm going to use this against you now. We're going to move on from wrestling. We're going to move on to something else.
Okay.
And I'm going to take a shot at you now. So, you said that why can't I like it all? So why is it that only Mighty Morphin Power Rangers exists in your mind?
Right.
The greatest segue in the history of time.
I just can't do it. Mighty Morphin, 1, 2, 3, series 1 to 3, and then it just got, I don't know, I love the Power Rangers. I've even got, look, for the fans, I've got a Green Ranger tattoo, okay? I love the Power Rangers, okay? I've got a Thundercat one as well. That's a different story, that's actually. I don't know. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. I just can't watch anything else. I can't. My son watches all the Power Rangers. Bam loves Power Rangers. He loves them all, right? The only good thing about the one series was the Pink Ranger in the one. I'm not going to lie. I follow her on Instagram now. She's amazing. Right? But I don't know. It just 80s and I don't know. I can't. I've tried. I have fucking tried my best, mate. I have really tried my best. But the original Power Rangers, sometimes the original is always the best, isn't it?
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I just watched now. I watched 7 series over the past 2 weeks. I watched 7 seasons of Boy Meets World. I wrapped it up today. I finished it today, and I've watched.
Wow.
Before Boy Meets World, I watched Girl Meets World, the sequel, and I watched 10 minutes of the first episode of Girl Meets World today after watching the 7 seasons of Boy Meets World, and I turned it off and went, nope, that is not Meets World, nope, and I went back and watched the first episode again because I'm like, no, this is not my show. I need Feeny.
It's one of them things. The original is something that was always. I don't know. Power Ranger. I tried. I've really tried. The first Power Ranger movie, Power Ranger movie, it was great, right? With Ivan Ooze in it.
Yeah.
Love it, right?
Ivan
Then
Ooze.
they did another one.
I love
Ivan Ooze, right? Then they did another one, and they're driving cars. For fun. They're driving cars, and Tommy's no longer the green or the white ranger. He's a fucking red. Stop it, right? Tommy, right? Okay, yes, he was amazing as a white ranger, but he is always going to be the green ranger, and Dragon Zord is always going to be my favourite.
Oh yeah, the Dragon Zord was great.
But don't make him a red ranger and stick him in a car. What's that got to do with what other stuff has just gone on? What does that make Zordon? The fucking sat-nav? I don't know. I don't know why.
All I can imagine now is going back to the fucking control center. Zordon is like, turn left. And Alpha 5 is just, you're like, aye, turn right, Tommy, turn right.
Oh, Zordon, oh.
They took a left turn. No U-turns on the M4, Zordon. No U-turns. Oh my God, why have you done this to me?
Did it go too far? Did they try and change stuff too much? All right, I understand how he filmed it, Japanese did all the Ranger shit, and it was originally a Japanese program, and they made it. Yeah. But yeah, I understand how it was filmed. Like the first in the original series, so if you look at when they're in their suits, the Pink Ranger's the only one that wears a skirt.
Yeah.
That's because in the Japanese version, the Yellow Ranger was a man as well.
Yeah.
They made her a female for the American demographic, right? So I understand they have to use that footage, and they Saban made it how it is. But stop fucking around with it, Will. This stupid other shit. They don't need to be in cars. They're meant to be school kids half the time. Are they old enough to fucking drive? I don't I don't know. I just became a bit too silly. They did like Neo and Alien and Samurai and fucking KFC worker, something else.
Oh, KFC, what? KFC worker?
I just made that up.
What? I was going to
There
say, what
was
fucking
like
series was
Ninja
this?
Steel. It's a Ninja Steel. The thing is, Vulcan Skull never aged. That was really weird. Ninja Steel. I don't know. It just became so many.
Technology is not my friend. At all.
What happened? What's up? What's going on?
Technology is just not my friend. So this is like the third time now that it's cut out, so we're going to have to go. Well, this has been fun. It's been hard, but you will be back for the Power Ranger triple threat, me, you, and Dav. At some point down the line, we'll arrange that when my internet sorts itself out.
That's. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be, mate. I'm fucking boring when it comes. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That's it. Sorry.
We'll see. This is going to be so fun for me to edit, just to try and figure out when shit didn't hit the fan.
Yeah. It's one of them things. That's what happens in the world, mate. We just make the best of what we can.
Yeah, technology is a thing, but there we are. I've enjoyed this one. This has been really good. It's been food, it's been wrestling, it's been Power Rangers. We've got a nice little 3-block thing there, so I feel like this was a good episode, and if it was in split screen, even better. So, yeah.
Wow.
I know, innit? Amazing. So, to end it off, I've been me. He's been him. You've been you. No, that's not it. I've been me.
I have.
You've been you. You've been watching. This has been Topic Thunder. Thank you. And fuck off.